Come on, let's do it.
All right, I love doing these episodes. We've done several over the years. It's a dedication. This one's dedicated to my friend Tia at work. We've been working together for 16 years, and we pump out a lot of work. We also have a few laughs. But sometimes we just shoot the breeze, and she was telling me about this thing her grandmother made when she was a kid, and I was like, ooh, I'm intrigued. I might want to try that. And what it is, it's very simple. It's bay scallops, pan-fried in olive oil, and they're just rolled in breadcrumbs. I think I got it right. I hope I got it right. We had a conversation. So I'm going to try it. And then I was like, ooh, that sounds actually pretty good. What did you have them over? Pasta? No. Rice-a-roni. Now, I have to confess, I have never had rice-a-roni. I have nothing against it. I just never had the occasion to try it. But I do remember the commercials from when I was a kid. I heard them over and over. Rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat. So I thought, you know what? I've been working on my ear training lately. And you know, we're always honest on this channel. We won't pull your leg. I have not listened to it. I probably haven't heard this jingle since I was a kid. Maybe it came across over the years, but I don't think I've consciously heard this since I was, in like 50 years or something. So I thought, you know what? I've been working on my interval training. Let me see if I can pick out the melody just from memory. So that's how I remembered it. Rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat. I hope I'm close. And I have not heard it, but I thought, let me try to pick it out, and then we'll go on and find the jingle and see where we're at. Now, I don't have perfect pitch. I don't even have good relative pitch. So I might be in a different key, but here's where I wound up with my voice. Rice-a-roni, 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 the San Francisco treat. Yeah, I think I got it. I think it's just on an A chord. Rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat. Do 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 do. Rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat. Let's see what the actual jingle is. Come on, let's do it.
Come on, let's do it.
God, I'm sitting here editing the show, and I just realized I'm on the laptop, and I went on and I found a jingle, found a couple old classic rice-a-roni commercials on YouTube. But then I thought, wait a minute, it's not worth getting copyright flagged for the whole episode just for that silly gag. But I did listen to it, and my memory wasn't bad. I'm off a little on the melody, but I'm not disappointed. Pretty good memory, and just the fact that whatever I heard in my head, I was able to pick out on the ukulele. That was more what I was concerned about. Can you hear a melody and pick it out on your instrument? So that worked out good. I'm close, but the melody's a little bit off. Go check it out, rice-a-roni. All right, back to the episode. All right, so the scallops are just scallops and breadcrumbs. I got these scallops yesterday. Again, we always do full disclosure. I don't like to think I'm a food snob or anything, but just for personal reasons, I don't buy farm fish. I always buy wild-caught fish. And the market I went to, on their website, said wild-caught bay scallops, X amount a pound. I tried calling the fish department at this market 3 times before I drove over there. Couldn't get anyone. So went, they had them all right with a big sign, farm-raised bay scallops. I should have gone to my usual place, but that's okay. And actually, they're a little big for bay scallops. I like the little guys, like Scotty gets in the spring on Long Island. They go scalloping. I got to get down there, chef. All right, but we're going to use them. It is what it is, as people will want to say. W-O-N-T. Here's the breadcrumbs. I made a great sourdough loaf last weekend, and anytime I make any kind of bread, I steal a little aside for breadcrumbs. All right? Just fed the starter today, by the way. This just turned 6 years old. Ooh, that's looking good. May have to start a loaf on that tonight. All right, so that's the scallops. Now, the rice-a-roni. Again, I've never had it, but I decided, let's make a homemade one, man. So I went online, and as I do, I must have looked at a dozen recipes. I settled on one by somebody named Kimberly Killebrew. Thank you, Kimberly. I'm going to put her link in the description. Go give her a like and a sub. Homemade rice-a-roni, courtesy Kimberly Killebrew. But of course, I'm going to go off script a little bit. You know what I mean? So here's what it is. Rice, and I cut her recipe in half. Now, pasta. They talk about, in all of these different recipes, they talk about breaking up vermicelli or using orzo. And I actually did a little reconnaissance mission while I was shopping for some other stuff. I looked at a box of rice-a-roni. And the original one, now you have a Cajun rice-a-roni, a Mediterranean rice-a-roni, Greek rice-a-roni. It just goes on and on and on. There's a whole shelf of them. But I looked at kind of the original one, and they do say vermicelli somewhere in there. But I'm going with argine di pepe. This is always in my pantry for chicken soup, because that's how my gram served you chicken soup. And it's ranzoni, the pasta of my childhood. You couldn't find this in many other brands. I just saw Di Cecco has an argine di pepe. So half of the pasta to rice. Pecans, I don't know. This is in Kimberly's recipe. She says walnuts or pecans. My friend Tia seems to remember some slivered up. She didn't know if they were almonds or what, but I love a pecan. Always reminds me of my dad. He went to Alabama. Loved his pecan pie. Butter, onion. Now the recipe calls for dried rosemary, dried thyme, and fresh parsley. But I happen to have all three on the windowsill. So I'm going to use fresh thyme and fresh rosemary in my rice-a-roni stock. This is the nice chicken / marrowbone stock we made. So we are good to go, man. Let's get the rice-a-roni on, because the scallops will take 2 minutes to fry. Over to the stove. Here we go, homemade rice-a-roni. Now, Kimberly's recipe says a skillet, but I'm going with the saucepan because it's going to cook like rice. It's going to simmer down, and I've got a nice tight cover for this. And I cut her recipe in half, so that's about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil in there and a tablespoon of butter. Get that melted up. I'm on medium. And similar to a risotto, the first thing we're going to do is toast the rice and pasta. So let me grab a wooden spoon over here. Or actually I'll grab the square paddle. We talked about that on the risotto show. Let you go nicely around the bottom of the pot. And let's put our rice in. This is just long grain white jasmine rice. And our orzo. This is my little going rogue on the thing. True rice-a-roni, I guess, would be vermicelli. And we're going to toast it up in this butter and olive oil. Beautiful. I'd say about 2 minutes or so. So let me turn this off. And after 2 minutes or so, we'll let this get nice and toasty. We'll put the onion in. Whoops, I forgot. Glanced at the recipe, but it's not too late. Rice, orzo, and the nuts right at the beginning. And those are those pecans or pecans, depending on your latitude. And I had just smashed them up with this nice little mortar and pestle. So you get some nice sized chunks along with some like powder. Get a nice variation. So We're toasting the pecans with the rice and orzo. I had barely turned the camera off before I realized it, so no harm, no foul. Okay, let me get the onions because I'm getting a big release of flavor here, by the way. Might cook better if I get back over the flame, eh? All right, onion in. Chop nice and fine. Ooh, nice aroma. We'll give this about a minute or two. Camera off. All right, the onion has released its fragrance. It's absolutely splendid. With the pecans, rice, and orzo. So now what we're going to do is season this up. Nice pinch of salt. We're going to put our herbs in. Remember the fresh thyme and rosemary. And by the way, I did have a little dried thyme from the summer. So I beefed it up with that. Herbs take on different characteristics when they dry. Some, I think, like oregano, is better dried than fresh. I guess depending on the usage. Fresh parsley right off the windowsill. And now we're going to put our stock in. I'd say this is just like a banged up pot of rice. 1.5 cups. So we did 2-to-1 liquid to dry, right? It was a 1.5 cups of the chicken marrow bone stock, and we had a 1/2 cup of rice and a 1/4 cup of orzo, so it was 2-to-1 liquid. It varies. If I'm just doing rice, I'll go 1.5 to 1, you know. We're going to let this boil and then put a tight lid on it and push it to the back. And at that point, we'll do our scallops. I'll see you for the boil. We're at the full boil, so I'll give it a nice stir. And as I do with all my rice, I'm going to put the back burner on as low as it can go because it's got a much lower BTU rating than this front burner. And we want that gentle simmer. It smells incredible. Let me taste the liquid. Ming Sai. Indicates the final dish. Oh yeah, it's going to be really nice. The fresh herbs. I think it's going to reduce. I was going to put a pinch of salt, but I'm not going to touch it. It's got a nice flavor. So let's put that on. Put the timer on for 15. And I'll see you back here in about 12. Because I think 3 minutes is plenty of time for the scallops. See you in 12 minutes. Okay, there's only 2 minutes left on the rice-a-roni. But we'll also let it rest, as we do with any rice. So let's get started on this. I've got the heat on. Pretty high, and we're going with the big cast iron because I don't want to crowd these guys. Alright, we've got our bay scallops, seasoned breadcrumbs. As you know, these are my standard go-tos. Various herbs. There's several episodes where I talk about those. Parsley, basil, garlic, Parmesan cheese, you name it. Salt, pepper. So let's get some extra virgin olive oil in there for starters. This is the store brand, you know. I hate to even call it extra virgin olive oil. You know the whole scam. But it's better than using corn oil, in my opinion. Again, I'm no food snob. I just like food so much, I eat some every day. Alright, and I am going to go rogue on this as well. I am going to add some, just a little bit of butter. Sorry, Grandma. But I'm going to add it after they've been coated and got a little crispy, sort of to add a coating at the end. So let's do it like this. I'm going to put my breadcrumbs in this little Rubbermaid container, big Rubbermaid container, That's why, because I want to give them a good shake to coat them. So let's put the breadcrumbs in there, seasoned up. And I've had the scallops out on the counter after I had put them in on a paper towel. So I got most of the surface water off. They're still very wet, which is a good thing, because no egg, no anything, just scallops and seasoned breadcrumbs. That's the end of the rice. Let me turn the timer off. The rice-a-roni, we are not going to peek. We're just going to let it rest. And this is getting hot. Let's do the old chopstick test. Dry wood, right? Some nice bubbles. Light bubbles. We'll give it another minute. That's some bubbling. Dry wood, right? See the bubbles around it? There's your wooden thermometer. Alright, let's start dropping some scallops here. Pardon the noise, I am going to put the vent on. High. Oh, they smell great already. I'm trying not to crowd them. I want them to get crunchy on the outside. I don't want to steam them. Two more left. And we're good to go. Let them get goldy on that side. I'm going to use this, actually I have a bigger one. Hold on. I'm going to use this spot to handle more at once. And actually, you know what? These could probably benefit from, before the spoon, just a little flip. When you fry food like this, try not to move it right away. You want to let it get that solid coating, and then it will release itself from the oil. Okay, we do not want to overcook these, so I'm keeping a good eye on them. So let's pull a plate over here while they're finishing and get the rice-a-roni on, so those can come right out of the pan onto the rice. All right, I turned the fan down to low so we can hear it, so we can hear what's going on here. And now let's just start releasing these. And now that I flipped them and did both sides, I can just kind of give it a little scatter treatment. And while they're wrapping up, just had the rest. Let's check our rice-a-roni. Woo, baby. I'm going to repeat what I said at the top of the show. I have nothing to compare it to. It's just basically a risotto with pasta for me. I don't know what rice-a-roni tasted like. I don't know what it's supposed to taste like. But it looks like a nice bed for my scallops. So let me get them out. I don't want them to overcook. I'm obviously not eating all of these right now. You're right. But I'll put these in here so they don't overcook. And then I will put what I want on top. They smell amazing. Dropped it on the floor, excuse me, 5-second rule. 5-second rule turned QT. Incredible. So let's garnish this up and give it a go. I've got a little more fresh parsley off that nice windowsill plant. I brought that in the fall. It was in the ground actually. Potted it, and it's been doing real well in that window. soon it's time to get more herbs planted outside. Always have your herbs growing. You'll be happy. Let's take this one, use it as a little garnish. And scallops, seafood, gotta have some limone. There we go. Of course, in my garnish shot is a half a pit with a brown edge. Of course. Turn this off. Get a look at that. Scallops fried with seasoned breadcrumbs. A little homemade faux rice-a-roni for what it's worth. Let's see what we got. I'm just going to try the rice first. Oh, wow. Rice-a-roni, baby. Minus all the 6-syllable words on the side of the box. That is good. With the scallops? Come on. Wow, unbelievable. Dude. We're doing these on the patio, man. Saturday afternoon. You pick it. Patio furniture's not out yet, but you pick it in the late spring or whatever. Because you know I'm always home. I'm either home or standing in the room arguing with you. It's one or the other. This is amazing. Go Graham. So yeah, pick a Saturday. We'll do these, man. This is going on my repeat often list. All right, we'll see you for the next episode.
Come on, let's do it.
Well, that dinner was amazing. That's going on my repeat list for sure. But I had to pop on for a quick epilogue section here entitled, What in the Actual F Would Me Saying Orzo? Thank the stars for cut and paste, right? With the little Agene di Pepe text graphic. I'll tell you what's up. I was shopping. Well, the recipe that I used, Kimberly there, she said vermicelli or spaghetti broken up, and then she had in parentheses something about gluten-free. You can use gluten-free orzo. A couple of other recipes I saw said orzo. So when I was in the market, I'm looking at all these different pastas, vermicelli, and I'm thinking, well, I have the Filipino vermicelli noodles, and I'm thinking, oh, is that the right, or are they rice? And suddenly I was like, what am I doing? I got Agene di Pepe at home. I don't need to buy anything new. But the orzo was a big part of the whole searching, reconnaissance, figuring out what to do scheme. And it was on, I guess, top of mind. Orzo. Agene di Pepe.